Guys, I am so excited about how much Seattle is in this conversation right now. So I'm based in Bellingham,
Yeah.
and Megan, we had a chance to meet when Year of the Fox premiered at SIFF,
Aw.
and so it's really cool to now be talking with you here, with you going to Sundance. Guys, let's start. And the first thing I want to start with, because there's so much Seattle here, I have to start with a question. And then I think you guys might have a reaction to this, but everyone else may not understand. But when it rains in Seattle, do you use an umbrella?
I actually have a very firm hot take on this.
Let's go. Hot takes. That's what I'm here for.
Which is that it doesn't, whether you're cool or not, is not dependent on whether or not you're using an umbrella. It actually says nothing to if you've lived here the longest or you know Seattle the most or if you're the hardest. Like, I actually think that that is silly and just use an umbrella. They're amazing. You can wear the outfit you're already wearing and you don't have to like put a silly jacket, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, and so I'm coming from a place where I used to only use a skateboard and I couldn't carry an umbrella and I was trying to be the hardest. And now I can like actually carry an umbrella as I'm moving. I've never been able to do that before, even when I'm using like a push wheelchair. There's no umbrella in that situation. And then I finally got to a point now that I use an electric wheelchair where I can use an umbrella and it feels so good and luxurious. And then I'm like, people are looking at me like I'm not cool enough or Seattle enough. And I think that that's bogus. Do what you want. Umbrellas are amazing.
There you go.
Hot take, umbrellas are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been here for 20 years. Like I feel like I'm totally in Seattle and I don't care who knows. I use an umbrella.
hmm
I
Megan,
mean,
what's your take on this one?
yeah, it's hard to compete with that amazing hot take. I have a warm take about it. I carry an umbrella pretty much. It's in my bag usually, but I didn't even like this is how little it even comes up for me is that I didn't even buy that umbrella here. I bought it in Texas because it was pouring when I got to South by Southwest. So it's that umbrella, and I used it the most when I was working in New York because it would just open up and pour and drench, kind of drenching rain, which we don't get here. So I carry it, but I have to admit I don't often use it.
I'm
I feel
actually I'm impressed that you were able to travel with it and haven't lost it yet. That's my big problem with umbrellas is I would lose it the first time I take it
gotta
out.
invest in an umbrella that you love, that you want to carry around. I just got a vintage one from Paris. It feels really good. I'm like, this is my fancy umbrella. But I feel like it's a sign of someone who's going on a long walk. Like it does just drizzle here. So
hmm
if that's the case, I mean, you know, you have on a nice jacket, you're gonna be fine. But if you're taking a long walk and it opens up a little more, it's good to have.
I have to shout out to my Vancouver friends. They're teaching me the value of umbrellas. So it's interesting how you cross the border and that cultural shift is totally different. They take umbrellas everywhere. Like everybody has an umbrella. And so I have a designated umbrella in Vancouver that stays up there because I'm going to forget it if I bring it back down here. So,
Do you feel shame because you feel shame to use it here?
I don't, not inherently or not like consciously. I just think that maybe it's just a habit. It's just training. I just don't take an umbrella. To be fair though, I also don't really wear a coat all that often, and that's weird.
Oh,
So I'm just a very strange individual up here in
yeah,
the
you
in
like think
Seattle.
weather isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, whatever, right? I'm a summer person, so I'm just always dressed for summer.
Yeah.
You live in
Um,
the wrong part of the world to always be dressed for
Please,
summer.
I
let's
know, I
go.
recognize that. In fact, this morning I was taking the trash out before going about my day, and some neighbors were walking by walking their dogs, and they're all in their coats, but I had my t-shirt on, and they're like, "Huh, interesting weather to be wearing a t-shirt." I'm like, counting down to summer, guys. That's
You're just
uh
bringing it. You're bringing it on.
I am. This is just positive thinking for summer and warmer weather coming.
Love it.
Well, Mindy and Megan, we're here to talk about your short film, View from the Floor, which I think is such a wonderful, creative expression of this story that you have to tell. For those who are just discovering it, maybe Megan, let's start with you. Do you want to talk about what this movie is about, and then Mindy, you can chime in because it's your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a story of sex, drugs, and rock and roll without legs. The short is specifically about Mindy's journey through uh, performing without legs and the reaction from the media sphere and how that's fostered a unique style of imposter syndrome, and it deals with themes around exploitation and inspiration porn. So yeah, that's what we're that's the main storyline.
I love that description. Mindy, what else would you like to kind of add on to that people should know about here?
I mean, I guess it's important to say, um, I have been looking for a long time to tell a story about disability that is actually new and actually nuanced and actually complex. Like I want to see an anti-hero, someone who's not getting it all right. I just want to see my life. And Megan and I have forged this beautiful 10-year relationship built all around us creating this together. And so that's like, her becoming my best friend and like knows all about my life and how to speak in the language that I do about it because it's not common. It hasn't been given to us yet. And so the feature length is really about, a woman in her 30s sort of like looking back at a lifetime of ableism, her own internalized ableism, performance and exploitation, as well as, some really imperfect flows through life and disability. And so this specific piece, as Megan is talking about, is a pull from the larger piece and it focuses on, we just thought it was a really good snap of, exploitation as it presents to somebody who is performing without legs. It's really specific. And it is, I think, very universal in terms of being like, wait, so why do you like me?
Mm.
And it's also, a funny little, it's Maury. It's so cool that we could like share this very specific experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's so much to gravitate to that as you're saying, is kind of universally understandable and relatable when it comes to imposter syndrome. Why do you really like me? And wanting to do things and actually believe when people are saying that what you're doing is great, as opposed to we just feel bad for you or like whatever that is, right?
Especially when that's like all the data that you're getting from everybody, is that they are really inspired for you doing jack shit.
Right.
And so it is a little confusing when you do something impressive, or do you need to be, and this is where the movie goes, be impressive in order to be paid attention to or valued, which is currently what we have up with our setup with our models of disability. And so much of why Megan and I both want to be telling this specific story, so we can put some new information out there for folks. Like it's not just inspiration, it's a whole complexity of human things.
Which is exactly what makes it so cool that this movie gets a platform like Sundance to be able to premiere at. Which is awesome. Something that
Totally.
that I was recognizing. I don't know if you guys were aware of them, but last year, Seattle filmmakers Carlos A.F. Lopez and Megan Leonard brought a short film to Sundance, their horror film Dream Creep, and now we have another Seattle short film at Sundance. I just want to know what you guys, tell me your thoughts about Seattle, having this platform recurring and being present at Sundance.
I mean, it's the one of the best brand names in film is to be able to say you're playing at the Sundance Film Festival. It's just it opens a lot of doors. I was super proud of all the Dream Creep folks. I know a lot of them, and it's led to so many things for that project too. It's been so fun to watch what has been happening for them over the past year since they premiered last year. So, fingers crossed we experience anything like that because it's been really great for them, and we are in the midst of making the feature version of View from the Floor. So we're trying to raise money and finish animating the full feature. So the attention that we might get from a premiere at Sundance is just going to be incredibly helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited for that. Uh, in Park City, do you guys
So
have?
I want to say that oh,
No, go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just going to brag about Megan and the Seattle scene and that this is not her first time at Sundance. And that I just feel like there is a Seattle film scene and we all kind of like revolve around Megan's sunshine. And she's just been so much a part of that. And like to be with her going there just as a representation of Seattle and what we got going on here. It's so cool that, we have such a beautiful scene here. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Megan's at the center of it. I just wanted to say.
That's nice, Mindy. I am like, this is my first time back to Sundance with a project that is my own project, our project, since 2011. I've been with to support other people's work. And so it just feels like very exciting. Even having been before, it just feels like anytime you get that opportunity to go back is amazing. And Seattle has represented pretty well at Sundance over the years. Lynn Shelton, obviously, who introduced Mindy and I, she had almost all of her films played there, and the reason I've been able to go so frequently is to go support Seattle filmmakers specifically who've had movies there over the years.
That's incredible. I'm so happy to like hear how much support there is for Seattle filmmaking. And Megan, I definitely get that sense that you're just like this pillar in the Seattle film scene. It's really cool. Like when because I remember when I'll Show You Mine came out, and of course Year of the Fox, just like the energy and atmosphere around you and your projects is great. And so I'm so happy that you're able to spearhead this project. Which, as you guys,
I'd like to say we are
oh, I'm
co-directors.
so sorry. I'm so
No,
sorry,
no, no,
Mindy.
that's okay. She is an icon, so
Yes.
I understand.
No, but
Yeah,
so
this project is a 50-50 endeavor, and we're both producing, we're both directing. Obviously it's Mindy is the subject of the film and composing the music. And so it is yeah, for sure a team effort.
well, I did want to ask about that because working together on a film, tell me about what that dynamic was like and how, I mean, I know that you guys are friends and that you have this really great personal and professional relationship. How did that manifest itself in helping make this film?
Well, we've had time to really get to know each other. That's the first thing, and to
Mhm.
know the language of the story. Like, I feel like we've just put in a lot of time to like understand what we want to grab and how it gets told and all of that stuff. And we're both directors. Megan's big fancy film and television director, and I
Mhm.
direct um commercial, viral, corporate content. And so we all have I've also done music videos. But we each have our own director language, but we were born one day apart, one day in like a few
Oh,
years, but we have really similar, like both of us could never be done on an edit, like we could
mhm.
always have one more thing to take out. So we definitely have like a very deep rooted common communication, like a commitment to each other. And like, so it's always kind of like coming from we each have something to offer. So, I don't know. I just feel like our communication's really effective and friendly. And we're both like, we kick-ass directors on our own, and now we're friends who speak this common movie language together. So it's been, yeah, I think great. I would not direct with anybody else. I don't know. I don't know how Megan.
Same. Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say we got some strong Taurus energy going on where it's like we're both Tauruses, and like that sort of direct communication is such a big part of being able to do this kind of thing together, because if you're just kind of holding on to resentments or not saying something out loud, that's a recipe for disaster. And we're really honest with each other, and we have been working on variations of this project for almost 10 years now. So
Mhm.
we have, we've walked through this together for a really long time and sort of probably gotten past a lot of the bumps. Not saying there won't be more, but like we've navigated it a lot already.
That's so awesome. Um, Animated documentary storytelling. Um,
Fun.
that's
Fun,
what
right?
a cool combination of like components of film to tell a story. Tell me more about the decision to make this an animated film and maybe some of the challenges that might have come with doing it animated as opposed to live action.
We were definitely gonna do like we wrote many scripts. And I was taking acting classes and I was going to star in it and everything. And there's a couple things that needed to happen in the meantime in order for us to get at this like truth. But I think one of those things is my life experience had to develop. And I, I'm so good at telling my story, like just me and you talking. And then if you get to be my best friend, like Megan, then it just like is even better. And so there was something like, wouldn't it be just so nice to hear it how you say it? And then the added benefit of animation, because if you're like just gonna have the audio track, the added benefit of animation is like we get to show a girl without legs through the ages, you know what I mean? As opposed to like all of that live action difficulty when it would come to casting. And Megan, you can speak to more about the magic that we get to do because of animation, but that's kind of how it started.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the doors it opens up in terms of what's possible to depict visually is like it's like a whole new world. And you know, we both really enjoy the magical realism elements of this story and trying to get at something that feels emotionally true and isn't like a literal depiction. So in this case, the short you saw that there's all these depictions of the media, and there's people who have cameras for heads and microphones for heads, and then the audience who are just giant eyeballs, you know, who because it's just like that feeling of being watched and consumed. And I just feel like there's something about those visuals that gets at that better than whatever you might be able to portray in sort of a narrative scripted filmmaking traditional sense.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
exploitation. That's like a visual representation of exploitation, which is hard to get, I think, outside of animation. It's amazing.
yeah,
Which,
it's exciting to think about doing that for all of the ideas that are in the feature because it goes, this is one of the themes it covers, but it covers a lot of territory and just like we're both just like chomping the bit to get into all the other parts that we can figure out those like visual uh, motifs, you know, that we can explore and show what it feels like to like not everybody has an experience like Mindy's. Almost no people have experiences exactly like Mindy's. And so it's, you know, it's nice to be able to kind of have that empathy bridge with your audience where it just like lets them be experiencing that same feeling.
mhm. Yeah, and I think that that's a really valid point where you can bring in this really interesting visual depiction of what you're experiencing, and animation allows that kind of creativity. So that's incredibly cool, and I'm so happy that you were able to find that tone to the film, and that I think that'll translate very well with audiences when it premieres. So. Guys, I'm so excited to have this film here at Sun or when it premieres at Sundance. But I'll go ahead and wrap this conversation up for now. Before we do, one last thing I want to ask is when you get to Park City, what is the first thing that you think you'll be doing?
I know.
You go for it. I'll go
Well,
second.
I'm getting in late, so I'm gonna hit that hot tub up.
Yes.
I just want to get in the hot tub with snow all around me.
That's the plan. I'm
Yeah.
getting in on the first, like when the festival is just starting. So mine is boring. I'm probably just gonna go immediately to the festival headquarters and get all
Mhm.
of our badges and tickets and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Because it's because of Megan that I get to go straight to the hot tub because she's
Yes.
a
But
big
also,
girl.
yeah, but there, I also just got a ticket to see the John and Yoko documentary. So
Oh,
I'm doing that
fun.
pretty much that's the first film I'm seeing while I'm at the festival.
Take good notes. Oh my God. Wow. Is
That
Yoko Ono in on making that at all?
Actually, don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if she'll be there.
mm, interesting. No, that's gonna
That
be
would
really
be
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
I hope you guys get to have a bunch of experiences, watch a bunch of films, but also, have a great time promoting View from the Floor while you're in Park City and beyond. Like you said, I really hope that it gets the same kind of traction or more as like Dream Creep last year. This is a great platform for this film to be on, and I just love seeing Seattle film on stages like this. So,
Yeah.
congratulations,
You
guys.
both. Yeah, thank you so much.